Roger, would you defend Edward Snowden's leaking of classified information the same way you defend Julian Assange and Guccifer? What do you think about Ed Snowden?
No, I probably wouldn't. I think the situations are somewhat different, but I also continue to reject the idea that Assange is an asset of the Russians. I think he's an opponent of the deep state. All my liberal friends loved him when he was leaking on George W. Bush.
What do you think about that, General?
I was pretty consistent in my view about Assange. Okay, I disliked him then. I dislike him now. Mm-hmm. And he may or may not be a witting agent of the Russian Federation, but he is an agent of the Russian Federation.
Yeah. He seems to have changed. Why? It seems at the beginning to be a little bit different, but it only seems to be America that he finds shit on. Like we're the only country in the world that has shit to be found out of.
I mean, there are a lot of other societies out there that really do have secrets that are very, very harmful, and he continues to push only American secrets out the door.
And what do you think?
Why is he defending Trump now? I mean, WikiLeaks is actually going out of its way to defend the Trump administration. If you check their Twitter feed, they're spending a lot of time doing that.
But why did we learn today that the CIA has malware that can mimic transmissions from the Russians? Why would we need such a thing?
Oh, I can give you lots of reasons why.
Well, I'm sure you could.
Roger.
You guys did a bang-up job in the Iraq War.
An incredibly dark leap to then go to this natural capability that you would expect an espionage agency to have and immediately jump over here and said they used it to destabilize the American democracy.
So what do you think should happen with Snowden?
He should continue to live in Moscow.
Exactly.
Okay.
In a heated segment of Overtime with Bill Maher and his panel dive into the contentious debate surrounding government leakers and whistleblowers, with a particular focus on Edward Snowden and Julian Assange. Maher presses political operative Roger Stone on his stance, challenging him on whether these figures are heroes exposing corruption or foreign assets undermining American security. The discussion quickly turns to the nature of WikiLeaks, with some panelists arguing that Assange selectively targets the United States while ignoring global corruption. Others push back, insisting that his work is about transparency, not allegiance to any government. The conversation takes a sharp turn when the CIA's capability to mimic Russian transmissions is brought up, raising questions about intelligence operations and cyber warfare. As tensions rise, the debate underscores the deep political divide over leaks, surveillance, and national security, revealing just how complex and polarizing the issue remains. Let's watch this interesting video.
Rick, do you think that Mike Pence can continue to help Trump sway evangelicals in his favor?
Look, I think the biggest thing that Donald Trump has done to help with religious voters, evangelicals, is the appointment of Neil Gorsuch to the Supreme Court. I mean, that was the reason that many folks lined up behind Donald Trump, why he did as well as any Republican with the evangelical community, because they knew a Supreme Court seat was open. They wanted someone who was going to be like Antonin Scalia. Trump promised he would do that, and he delivered. I don't think, actually, Mike Pence has to do a lot to rally evangelical support. I think they're very happy with what the biggest issue on their plate.
And if Trump would, by some crazy quirk, wind up not being president because of impeachment or something, I hear liberals, some say, well, Mike Pence would be worse. And this infuriates me. Mike Pence would not be worse. We know who Mike Pence is. He's a down the line, he would be somewhat similar to a Rick Santorum presidency.
And you probably don't have to worry with like North Korea or something. You don't have to worry about crazy wars.
Exactly. Like if you were President Rick, I wouldn't go to bed every night nervous.
I mean, I
well, you say that now.
I might.
You say that now. Where do you not say that? When do you ever say anything like that?
No, seriously. I mean,
one's dangerously unstable, right? The concern about Trump is he might be unstable, right?
I mean, there's policy and there's personality. Mm-hmm. And it's the personality part that worries me way more.
I hear that. I mean, that when you think about what's happened with the Pentagon or who he's the kind of forces at the NSC, they are people who, should worry all of us about stability in the global order. But I think that, Mike Pence is no walk in the park either.
No, he's not. But I'm glad we agree that he is preferable to Donald. Anyone is Trump. Donald Trump is the worst person in America. So, like, anyone is.
No, not even close.
There's other people. There's other people.
Not even close.
There's other people.
Okay. All right.
As the panel moves beyond the controversy of government leaks, the conversation shifts to the delicate political balance between Donald Trump and his deeply religious base. The discussion zeroes in on Mike Pence, a figure widely seen as the bridge between Trump and evangelical voters. Some argue that Pence's influence is crucial in maintaining their support, particularly in light of Trump's often controversial rhetoric and personal scandals. However, others express concerns that if Trump were to leave office, whether through impeachment or other means, Pence's hardline conservative policies could be even more extreme. From there, the debate broadens into an assessment of Trump's leadership and stability. Panelists grapple with the question of whether his presidency is uniquely dangerous compared to other Republican leaders. Concerns are raised about his unpredictable decision-making, foreign policy approach, and the growing influence of Breitbart News within the administration. As the conversation unfolds, the panel paints a picture of an administration teetering between chaos and control, with Pence waiting in the wings as a potential alternative. One that some fear could be just as, if not more, ideologically rigid than Trump himself. For many progressives, the idea of Pence is worrisome precisely because it would offer stability, but at the cost of policy extremism. For conservatives, Pence is the logical successor to Trump, someone who can bring order while maintaining their agenda. Either way, this conversation highlights the deep uncertainty about the direction of the Republican Party. Is it still the party of traditional conservatism, or has Trump's populist movement permanently reshaped it?
Though I liked him then, I like him now.
Oh, yeah,
Well, look, I mean, Donald Trump is not your typical Republican. That was certainly not a typical Republican inauguration address. It refuted a lot of the Bush doctrine.
It was some weird
and
shit.
so I'm sure he was offended by it.
It had three different appeals for racial unity, which everybody seemed to ignore, but it was right there. You could hear it.
Racial unity?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh my God.
What
Sir,
were they?
how can you...
Tell me.
Gee, I don't have my copy on me, but if
you
you
just
throw it,
said
they're
it.
there.
You just said racial
Because they're
unity.
there. I was sitting 10 feet away. They're there.
Oh.
Because you're very close to the president.
Right.
He's-
I mean, a presidency that's run by Breitbart News. Let's think about this. We have a presidency that is being run by Breitbart News. Our
As
immigration
opposed to the
policy,
New York Times?
no, as
Yeah,
opposed to the white
okay.
nationalists and the supremacists who run Breitbart News.
No,
we have to call that what it
false.
is. This is not alternative.
This is what the left does. It's name calling.
Wait a second. I'm not the left or the right.
That's
I'm
name
not the
calling.
left
That's
or the
name
right.
I'm
calling.
sorry,
Stop the name
Breitbart
calling.
used the term, I'll just say, used the term kike. Do you think that's right? That's right
I'm
that they did that?
I'm
in a
unaware of
title.
that. I'm unaware of
Okay.
that.
Yeah, well, we'll tweet it out later.
Bill,
It's
there's
anti-Semitic.
an important line in the speech, and the president said, "I pledge allegiance to the American people." That's not common in the American tradition. You know, I take an oath. It's to the Constitution of the United
Right.
States. It's to the process. It's
Right.
to the ideas of America, not the blood and soil. And that is a clear distinction. It's different. We'll see where it goes.
The debate over Trump's leadership and stability revolves around whether his presidency represents a uniquely dangerous moment in American politics, or if his erratic style simply overshadows the more methodical governance of other Republican leaders. Critics argue that his impulsive decision-making, especially in foreign policy, poses a significant risk to global stability, as his lack of diplomatic discipline and tendency to undermine his own administration's positions create confusion among allies and adversaries alike. Additionally, concerns about the influence of Breitbart News and other far-right media outlets suggest that Trump is not merely leading as a traditional Republican, but as a figurehead for a broader populist nationalist movement that prioritizes tribalism over governance. This raises fears that his administration is less about policy and more about perpetuating a culture war, eroding democratic norms along the way. However, some argue that while Trump's style is unconventional and chaotic, his actual ability to govern effectively is limited, making him less dangerous in practice than a more disciplined conservative like Mike Pence, who could enact a far-right agenda with greater efficiency. Ultimately, the discussion underscores a deeper concern about the direction of the Republican Party, whether it will continue down the path of Trump's unpredictable populism or revert to a more traditional, but potentially more effective conservative leadership. Thank you for watching and being a part of the conversation. If you enjoyed this discussion and want to stay informed on the latest political debates, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps keep these important conversations going. Stay engaged, stay informed, and we'll see you next time